What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today the S4 is broken again. So I'm really bummed out, but I'm just glad everything was okay. Basically, on my way home, cruising, all of a sudden I didn't have any power steering. All of a sudden I had the battery light came on, and the car was overheating like crazy. So the first thing came to my mind, oh shit, the belt. And quickly pulled over and turned it off, popped the hood, and discovered that the serpentine belt is chewed up. Now, I have no idea how it came to that situation, but all I know, I suspect that certain parts are worn and they gave out. So, got the car towed, brought it home safely, and then now I'm out of a car for a couple of days, mainly because I'm waiting on parts. But other than that, real quick, just want to remind you guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment if anything, if you have any questions. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. But yeah, it sucks. All right, let's go take a look at the car. So, everything under the car is pretty good, or under the hood is pretty good, but I've noticed, I don't know if you can see it down there, but there's still some shavings down where the crank is. One of the tensioners for the supercharger, that's pretty much banged up. Can't really spin freely, so I know how to replace that. Also going to replace the idler back there, the little black one. I don't know if you can see my hand pointing, but it's behind this silver idle pulley right back there. So I'm also going to replace actually all the pulleys and all the tensioners. So there's 2 idle pulleys and 2 tensioners. So the tensioners in this side and the other tension is over there. Luckily, for the most part, water pump pulley is fine. I can't really get my hands on the alternator and the power steering and the AC down there, so most likely I have to do those when I take the engine apart. But for the most part, the pulleys are pretty good. I don't know how. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm just thinking it's probably a bad belt. But from the last time when I did the water pump, I actually inspected the belt. There was no cracks, no damages. So it just seems so odd, you know what I mean? Also, I did the same thing for the supercharged pulley belt. I tested it, make sure it was good. And for some strange reason, it gave out. So this was left of the belt. It's all chewed up, all torn apart. So this big one right here, this is a service belt. So that's what basically keeps the water pump, alternator, power steering, you name it. Everything is relied on this belt. And then the supercharger belt, which seemed to be screwed up too, that also had some issues. So, but I couldn't help myself. I went and take a look at the belt itself, because I took it apart before when we did the water pump service, and I inspected it. And if you can look closely again, there's no like cracks or any signs of, like, you know, excessive wear and tear. I know the belt had some life left, so never suspected. Same thing for, well, same thing for the service belt. If you look at it, I could even crease it a little bit. You know, you don't see any cracks, any damages, anything that shows a sign of worn. So obviously this is not just a belt problem. I think it goes more with the pulley, because when I was turning the pulley wasn't spinning freely. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the car, take the thing apart, and start tearing it down and inspecting the pulleys. All right, so I got it off, pretty much the bumper and everything else, and I had to loosen the bolts just like last time, just to get this whole front end to tilt forward. So now we have all the room in the world. And also, you can take a closer look what's going on down there. So I went ahead and removed these hoses. I wish I didn't have to, but I had no choice, especially for this pulley down here. So this pulley, you're gonna need that little room. The gap I just created, it was a lot closer, but you will need that room to break this, to get that bolt off of this pulley. So this pulley, it's pretty bad. I don't know if you can see it. Let me get a light. Now with the light on, I know you definitely see it, but this pulley right here, that pulley right there. So that pulley, I had to remove the cap. The cap fell down there, but I gotta get that later. But removing that, because this pulley is pretty much bad. It's not spinning freely. So maybe because of, and I noticed there's some like belt particles they're in the behind the pulley, so I already know it's really bad, so I have to replace that. This is the power steering. It's perfectly fine, no big deal. I even checked behind it. I don't see any shavings behind there. This will be the AC compressor pulley. That's also in good shape. And hop over here in the middle, water pump. It's perfectly fine. The alternator back here, that's for spinning freely as well, is working, doing well. The pulley right here is actually spinning pretty well, but I'm still gonna replace it anyways. The idler pulley, or this is the tensioner, my bad, but the idler pulley right here, I don't know if you can see it. Put some light on it. You could tell as I get in there closer, but I could take it out. When I take it out, you'll see it. But right by the inner half of the idler pulley is, you can see strips, strands, like it's been cut up. So that's a bad sign. I'm also gonna go ahead and also replace the idler pulley for the supercharger, which, dude, there's like barely any play. It's really bad. So I'm going ahead and replace that as well. What was interesting, I never thought this day would ever happen. If you could look closely, this right here should not be shifting. This is the crank, guys. So I'm actually turning it too. Like right now, I'm turning it freely. And yeah, so the outer ring is disconnected from the inner hub. Yeah, it's done. It's toasted. So that was a whole culprit. That's why everything gave out and tapped out. I knew it wasn't a belt, but at the same time, guys, if you haven't known the last time you replaced the belt, go ahead and replace it. Also, inspect your pulleys and your tensioners while you go ahead and replace it, because you'll never know when something fails. Like, I would never suspect this will be the culprit. It's amazing. But now we know it's a crank. We'll take care of it. So now we know what's the problem. We could definitely get onto it and put it together, and that will be our next video of replacing all this. Until then, just gonna sit and wait for the parts. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video where we can put this together, and maybe we might do some little upgrades while we're at it. All right, guys, peace.